Today we're going to make a video about how to put a toddler on your back using a carrier cover, so to keep them warm and dry in rainy or cold weather. The covers are especially useful when you are using a carrier on your front or on your back, because they can be used either way around, and also if you share your carrier with other people who are a different size or shape to you, because the covers are unisex and universal. They can be used on most soft structured carriers. It depends on the brand and exactly how they attach. We're going to show you how to put the toddler around and use the cover at the same time. So I've chosen her Boba 4G carrier, and chosen it because it's nice and simple to see what goes where. However, it can be used with a majority of carriers of this type. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the carrier cover and click it onto my carrier before I put the child up onto the back. So we have tiny little buckles that just pass around the straps for the carrier, just there and just there. So you can make them nice and snug, tighten them up so the carrier stays level with the top line of the carrier when you pick it up. So there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my child in from the front around onto the back. So picking them up, sitting them up and around. Allow them to have their arms in or out as best suits them, as long as the carrier comes nice and sturdy up to the back of the shoulder. Roll the carrier up onto our baby's back. Now we're working around the cover, so you can see as the carrier comes up, so does the cover. I'm going to hold both of the straps, ignoring the carrier cover, but making sure that my thumb meets my fingers just here. And with my hand on my baby's back, I'm just going to bounce them around over the top of my coat into a back carry position. My arm will come off and it will go underneath the first loop and through the second, which helps me to keep a solid hold on my toddler as I swap my hands around to the back, having hold of the carrier and wiggling them around. Arm up and around, making sure this strap is where it needs to be, and I work around my own hood to come in and round. And we can tighten our carrier up and fit the chest strap in the front here. So everything's roughly where it needs to be, so we're just going to make sure that we pay attention to our comfort. The chest strap can come up and down on the straps of the carrier just here. Most carriers will offer some type of adjustment to make sure that it's fitting nice and snug. I'm going to pull on my hood to make sure it's up and away from baby's face. Of course, if it's raining, then I can put it up and bounce them just a little higher, paying attention to the twisting of my own coat. So the only thing remaining to do with the cover is to bring it down and over baby's legs. One there and one here too. Now this cover and some others have zips on the bottom just there, so if your child's legs are too long to be tucked into the cover itself, or they've got muddy boots on, you can guide those out. And the very last buckle on our cover will come across and click just under on your chest, nice and snug, which holds the baby nice and high, gives a good support for their back, but also make sure, just loosening it out a little bit, everything sits where it needs to be on you, nice and high, and it's covering them all the way up their back, arms in if necessary, all the way to the bottom of the feet, just there. So it doesn't overly affect the way that we put the child up and around onto the back to clip the cover on. Equally, it doesn't always affect the way we get them down.